Okay, welcome to the RPRA One Loft race application form. Just going to run through really quickly how to fill in the form and step by step. It's a really simple process, but here's a little video just to help you if you're struggling. First thing it's going to ask you for is your email address. Make it in lowercase, so we'll put my email address in there. Okay. Once you've done that, it gives you the option to view a video of previous One Loft races and what the loft looks like. If you just click that red button, you'll be directed to the YouTube channel to be able to do that. If not, you can always visit that at any stage, One Loft Race YouTube channel, just by typing in RPRA One Loft Race in YouTube. But the main thing for this form is if you filled in your email, that will allow you to get the email confirmation that your application has been submitted. Once you've done that, just click next, and then you'll be taken to the next stage. The next stage, I've filled this in already as I was just playing around with it earlier. But if you fill in your name in the first box, your syndicate name in the second box, which I've just put as the Rugeley Rockets. Remember, it's a maximum of 20 characters, including spaces. So please make sure that that's in line because it doesn't fit on the system if not. The address, the town, the county, the postcode, and obviously what country you're from. Now, if you're from another country, you can type in that stage, click other, and you can type in USA, for example. But if not, just click, all the home nations are there. So if you click that, or if you click other, it'll tell you. Then they ask you for your phone number and what organisation, what union you are affiliated to. It'll ask you for your union number and then also any what name you would like your checks, any winning checks to be paid to. Now, don't worry if there's each one of these got a red star as you notice next to it. So let's just say you haven't entered in a field and you've missed one out and you try to move on to the next page. It won't let you, and it will bring a red star saying this field is required. So you would be able to go back to that and go and fill that in. Okay. You can check all this at the end anyway, but that's just a fail safe that we've put in. So just make sure you've clicked the boxes, answer each individual question individually, and that would be great. Once you've done that section, click next, and if you've done it correct, you'll be able to move on. Now, at the next stage, it's going to ask you a couple of questions. The first thing it's going to ask you is how many pigeons you would like to initially enter for the One Loft race. Okay, so you have an option of 1 to 5 for an application. So if you would like to click the number you would like to enter, so I'm going to say I'm going to enter 3 pigeons. It tells you next to it how much the minimum deposit is and also how much the final full payment would be. Okay, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, how we can process that. So you click your number. If you wanted 1, you click 1. If you wanted 3, yeah. Again, if you don't click this, it's got the red star. It won't let you move on. So I've clicked 3. It will ask you the next one, would you like to be considered for any further ones? So if you would like to be considered for extra pigeons, if there's space available, you can either click yes or you can click no. Okay, please just put one or the other. I'm going to say no. I'm happy with just entering 3 and I don't want to enter any more if they come available. This next bit, you're going to just say, what are you going to do with this application? Are you going to pay just the deposit? And again, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Or would you like to pay the full amount? At this stage, I want to tell you that you always have to pay the deposit first, and then you can add on the full amount after. So you can't go straight to full amount. You have to pay the deposit, and then you have to pay a separate amount. But if you were intending on paying everything now, if you click full amount, once after you've paid your deposit, there are links a bit further on that will allow you to top that amount up to pay the full balance. But I'm going to say that I'm going to click full amount. And then obviously if you can read here, it's just a little bit of a disclaimer just to say, that you understand what's going on and you understand what you're signing up for. So obviously it's there for you to see. All the bank details are there. And also there's a link here which you'll be able to see, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. You'll also get this in an email, so you don't need to do it at this stage, but there's a link here that you can click on to pay that deposit and it'll take you direct to the online shop. So if you wanted to, you could just copy that and use that link for later. You could click at this stage, but it may take you off the form depending on your browser settings. So I'd recommend leave that for now, copy it, but you'll also get in an email later. You do have to say that you agree to what's stated above, so just make sure you're happy with that. If you're not at this stage, then obviously your application will stop and you just leave the page. But if you're happy to continue, click that button and then obviously press next. Again, these are the terms and conditions just of what you're signing up for. Again, we have the two links. As I said before, you have to pay a deposit separate to the full amount. So obviously, once you've read and everything, you understand it. If you were to click this, it would take you to the deposit page. And if you were to click this one here, it will take you then, after you've paid your deposit, to the final balance, where it will just be a top up of what you have paid. And again, there's going to be a section on that later on in the video just to explain how you can do that. Alternatively, if you want to pay by bank transfer, it is here, and you can see that there. We just need to make sure that you are getting the correct sort code and account number, so I've highlighted that there for you now. And also, it is important that any bank transfer that you do, you list your name and your Loft number. That's really important, so when we're looking through the statements, we can pick you out really easily. In the past, people haven't done that and it's been quite difficult. So lots of options there. You can either pay by bank transfer, which I've highlighted, or pay the initial deposit. And after that, once you've paid your deposit, if you wanted to pay your full amount, which is what I've selected, I could then go to there. Now, if you are paying by bank transfer, by all means, you can then just pay the full amount. That's not a problem in that one transaction, and that's not a problem there. But if you are doing it via the shop, please, online shop, please go to deposit first and then the final balance. Okay, I'm just going to click that I understand that. Again, if you're not happy with that and you don't agree to that, at that stage you could then leave, close the browser, and that's you done. It will cancel everything. If not, you click I understand. And then at this point, you are going to be asked if you would like to submit the form. Now, at this stage, if you wanted to, just to do a quick check, you can go back to any stage and change any of your questions just by clicking back. You can scroll everything just to make sure you're happy with everything. Go back all the way back to the start, which obviously was where we entered our email, and we can then go from there. So I'm happy that everything that I've submitted is absolutely fine. I'm happy with what I've said, and I'm going to click now submit. Okay, you will then be given this message. If you wanted to, I would suggest that you copy and paste this into a word processing or equivalent software program. Very simple. What it means is this is what gives you the details of how to pay. But again, don't stress. If you don't do that, then it is going to be sent on an email to you as well. Okay, so thank you for submitting. You have the option then, once you've submitted it, to go to the deposit, as we was before, to enter a bank transfer, as I showed you before. And once you've done both of those, you can then, after that, go on to the final payment, which again is here. So there's lots of opportunities throughout this form for you to be able to go to the correct area. Okay, once you've clicked submit, that's your form entered. If you now go to your email, you should have what you can see on my email is here. So if you should have an email from Google Forms saying Royal Pigeon Race Association 2022 One Loft application. If you just open that in full, you can see that all your responses are then here. You can see at this point you can't change anything. If you do notice there's a problem, then please get in contact with us either by email at RPRA1Loft at RPRA1Loftrace at rpra.org, or give us a call on the main line and we can get that sorted for you. But as you can see, all my entries are here. Now, what's really important, as it said before, is that you are able to pay for your birds in the correct way. So as you can see, if you scroll right to the bottom where it says I understand and agree to terms and conditions, that exact box is there as we showed before. Now the only difference is this time the websites aren't highlighted, but they are in there if you have a read. So as you can see, the way to pay your deposit is where it says deposit. So obviously I've highlighted there. And then the other one is in here, which is the final. Now we're just going to work on if you wanted to pay your deposit online instantly. Remember, everyone has to pay a deposit to start off with. All I do is highlight and click that to copy. Go to a new tab on my user area and press enter. When you click that link, you'll be directed to this page where you can pay your deposit for your entries to the One Loft race. As you can see by the page in front of us, you have two options. Number one is where you enter the quantity of how many pigeons you would like to enter. And the second one is to add it to your basket. Now, what you need to do here on the quantity is on the little arrow, as I'm showing you here, you just click that and you pick the number of pigeons you want. So I've just selected 1. I'm going to enter 1 pigeon on this one. Okay, this number must match what you entered on your main screen. So previously on your entry form, if you entered 3, please select 3. If you entered 4, enter 4. But I'm going to select 1. I know I entered 3 before, but I've got this preset to 1. So I'm going to just show for this purpose, click 1. So I've set it to 1. And then underneath here, you can see it's got £50 set up, and I just need to add it to the basket. So I just click add to basket, and from there, you just need to follow the instructions on the WorldPay site to continue your purchase. Now, at any point, if it asks you for a reference, please reference your name, your Loft number, and also OLR22. And that just allows us, when we're looking at the statements, to be able to pick out your payment as yours. That is for the one Loft race for 2022. Okay, this next section is for people who wish to pay their remaining balance in full at this stage. If you're not one of these people and you're happy just to pay a deposit to see if you've got your entry and see if it's been successful, then you have completed the process for now, and you'll be contacted in the next working week, 5 days or so, to confirm whether or not you've got a place in this year's race. Just bear in mind, it is on a first come first served basis. So, and all the entries up until the limit will be accepted, but anything after that will be not, and you'll be notified in due course. So as I said, this next bit is for people who are wanting to pay the remaining balance in full. So what I need you to do, as you can see what I've done here, is I would like you to go back to your email that you received after you filled in your form and scroll right to the bottom. In the terms and conditions section, you will see a link here which I've highlighted, and it's to pay your final balance. Again, if you've done this by bank transfer, it's not going to be a problem. You just follow that and put your reference in, which is great. But if you are paying on the online shop, then just highlight this, go and click copy, open a new browser area, paste in that website, you press enter, and from there you will be directed to this page here, where once again you will see the very similar setup to when you paid your deposit. Now, your £50 if for every pigeon, £55 is in there now, so that's not an issue. So when you are adding for the rest of your pigeons, you are just topping up that amount of the deposit that you've done, and that's already pre-calculated into this. So same thing again, all you need to do in quantity is click the amount of birds that you've entered, add to basket, and again, like you did with the deposit, pay your follow the instructions through the WorldPay site, and at any point it asks you for a reference. It's your name, Loft number, and OLR22, so that we know that it is the payment for the one Loft race. If there are any questions at all on this, then you can also get in contact with us via our email and also on our main hotline. So those are the ways that you can enter and pay for your pigeons online. It's like I say, it's a simple process if you just follow the stage-by-stage steps that we've put out for you. You can view this video at any stage just by going back to the original document or the original video and pressing play again, and you can keep watching it and go from there. And if there's any questions, please get in contact with us on our main line that can be found on our webpage.